We'll first start with the IIBA, which is an organization which predominantly deals with your business analysis governance process. So they have some sort of certification. They have this sort of certification at this point of time. If you see the certification levels, earlier they had one more certification, excuse me, CBATL, which they have removed it at this point of time. Probably they are still finalizing the syllabus for that. But at this point of time, we have these four certification, and there is one more addition, that is IIBA Agile Analysis certification. So at this point of time, they offer five certification. Now coming to ECBA certification, this is a certification that anyone can do. No prior experience is required for doing ECBA or ECBA plus certification. And same thing goes for Agile Analysis certification. These three certification do not require any prior experience. However, you need to obtain some PDUs, that is Professional Development Unit, in order to apply for this certification. Now, whenever you are taking a course which is endorsed by IIBA, so that particular course vendor would provide you some of the PDUs. So PDUs, I believe there are 20 or 22 PDUs requirement that you need to gain. After that, you have to fill a particular application to IIBA that usually cost you 110 USD. After filling that particular application, your application would be approved, and then you should be able to apply for that particular certification. Now, these three certification, ECBA, ECBA Plus, and IIBA AAC, these are remotely proctored exam. You don't have to go to any particular Prometric center. You can take this certification at the convenience of your home. So that would be a proctored exam. A person from the other side would be invigilating you how you are doing that particular while you are taking that particular exam, and you can take it from your home. Now, these three certification anyone can take. There is no requirement of experience. However, there is a PDU requirement. You have to go through a formal IIBA course endorsed by any particular training provider like Watermark Learning or any XYZ training provider which is nearest to you. Once they give you the PDUs, you can apply for the certification. Now, I have ensured that I have covered most of the part which is in line with your Babok copy. So you can formally go for that particular training. They won't teach you any such hands-on at that particular certification. They would only teach you the relevant item which is related to Babok concepts. So that is completely a concept-driven training. There won't be any hands-on associated to it. Now, the difference between ECBA and ECBA Plus is ECBA can be offered by any XYZ registered education provider who have taken endorsement from IIBA. Now, ECBA Plus is something they would offer you certification. At the same time, there is a practical hands-on associated to it, wherein they would give you 1 month or 2 months of internship with a specific company, wherein you would go and demonstrate your skill set as a business analyst, as an entry-level business analyst, and that would be verified by the respective judges in IIBA. So that is the difference between ECBA and ECBA Plus. Here only certification, here certification plus your practical examination. Now coming to the other part, the level 2 and level 3 certification. So CCBA certification, again the process is same, the application process and the PDU requirement. But the only difference here is you have to have minimum 3.5 to 5, between 3 to 5 years of experience for applying for CCBA certification. So that is the core requirement, and you have to show it in your application form, and you have to support your application form with your references. That would be your career managers or anyone that you feel can vouch for your credibility. Now, CBAP is something that is designated towards professional who have more than 5 years of experience as a business analyst. When I say experience, 3 to 5 years and 5+ years, that is as a business analyst experience. Other experience won't count here. Okay, so this is how your IIBA certifications are categorized. Now coming to the other vendor, which is PMI PBA. Now here they only offer one certification at this point of time for business analysis, that is professional business analysis. And here the requirement is you have to have 7,500 hours of business analysis experience. Again, like IIBA, you have to get an official training from a particular training institute and get the needed 35 PDUs, contact hours, that you need for your application. Now there are two conditions over here. Either you satisfy this condition or either you satisfy this condition. Out of these two conditions, if any one condition is satisfied, then you can apply for this particular exam. But again, this 7,500 hours or 4,500 hours, the experience has to be completely into business analysis. No other experience would be counted. And it would be a 200 multiple choice question that you need to complete in that particular examination. Now, coming to the format of the examination, IIBA exam and PMI exams are based on Bloom's taxonomy. Now, what is Bloom's taxonomy? Now, unlike the other certification that you have for, let's say, Microsoft certification, wherein you would be getting a cumulative score more than 60%, more than 70%, then you are passed. No matter in one particular area you are weak, you would be your certification would be held and you would be declared as fail. It is not like that in Microsoft context. But in IIBA and PMI context, they completely and strictly follow Bloom's taxonomy. That means if IIBA has 6 knowledge areas, then you have to equally qualify in every knowledge area. If you are weak in any one particular knowledge area, then you would be considered as fail. So it is completely based on your Bloom's taxonomy. Now, Bloom's taxonomy is an algorithm which has 6 levels. You can read more about Bloom's taxonomy on this Milestones website, how it is. Now coming to BCS. BCS is another vendor who is offering lot of business analysis certification, and I personally feel BCS certification are much better than IIBA certification and PMI certification. Why? There's a reason to it. Now if you see IIBA certification, there is level 1, level 2, level 3. Now in this particular level, they only have the knowledge area. They do not have any specific specialization. Now if you see the same thing in BCS certification, you would see the specialization like business analysis foundation. This is business change. This is commercial awareness. Then this is business analysis practice. This is data management essentials. This is modeling business process, requirement engineering, then agile business analysis, business finance, data analysis. So they have touch based with every aspect in a particular business analysis area, and they have individual certification associated with it. Now the list of certification in business analysis, if you consider from BCS, is very exhaustive. You could see there are so many certifications that are available for BCS, but there are two main designation in BCS. One is your international diploma and the other is advanced international diploma in business analysis. Now you being entry level professional, you can choose from any of these three certification: business analysis foundation, business change, or commercial awareness. Now once you gain substantial experience, although it is not mandatory, it is recommended that you have certain experience, at least 1 to 2 years. After that, you can go for practitioner certificate in business analysis from BCS. These are the areas that you have. After you have completed, let's say, one foundation, two practitioner certification, you can go for your international diploma in business analysis, which is worldwide recognized. So you have to do one of the you have to pass both of these certification, one from foundation and one from practitioner. Then you have to choose any one of these knowledge based module, that is business analysis foundation or business change, any one out of this, and you have to pass any one out of this. After you have completed 4 certification, then you would be given a designation of international diploma in business analysis, and that's a huge thing. Now unlike your IIBA and PMI, for BCS foundation level certification, you don't have to go through any formal training process. You don't have to go to any particular training provider. You can self learn at your home basis on the book that I have already uploaded in that particular portal, the Business Analysis Foundation by Deborah Paul. That book is sufficient, and the 72 essential techniques book, which I have already uploaded in the portal. If you go through that 2 books, you should be able to clear this certification. There is no PDU requirement over here. You can directly book your appointment with any Pearson center nearby you. It's around 160 or 170 euros the price, and you can apply for this particular certification. So foundation doesn't need any formal training. Practitioner certification needs formal training. Now it is usually 24 hours training that is spans across approx 3 days. You can do it online, or you can do it in person by attending a particular workshop in your region. After you have completed the 3 days program, at the end of the day, you would be given a paper-based test in that particular training center itself. You have to write the answers. The question and answers would be very subjective in nature. They would give you 5 to 8 case studies. Per case studies, there would be 4 to 5 questions that you have to answer subjectively, not objectively. These are all subjective answers that you have to do. After you have cleared that particular exam, you should be given your practitioner certificate. So that is how BCS works. Then if I consider IREB, so IREB has a huge portfolio of exams in business analysis. They have your advanced level business analysis certification, foundation level, and requirements engineering level. So here also formal training is not mandatory. It's advisable that you should go for a formal training, but it is not mandatory though. So once you have the subsequent amount of knowledge in terms of appearing for that particular exam, you can book the exam in any Pearson center, and you can go for your respective certification in IREB. Now, the good part is, let's say you are doing a foundation level certification from IREB. That means that certificate is equivalent to ECBA, and that certificate is equivalent to Business Analysis Foundation offered by BCS. So these three bodies, IIBA, BCS, and IREB, they have an internal alliance. Internal alliance means they recognize each other's certification. So let's say you have completed CBAP. That means if you are heading towards getting an international diploma in business analysis, you don't have to do business analysis foundation and requirements engineering. You have to only do one business analysis practice and any one of the what I would say professional module examination. Only 2 papers you need to do if you are holding a CBAP. So that is how they recognize each other's certification. So there are certain wave of criteria in place. Now coming to the costing part, the most expensive certification are offered from BCS. So BCS certification, if you consider, I recently did this certification, requirements engineering, and it costed me around 55k in Indian rupees, and in UK it is around 1.4 lakhs in Indian rupees. So these are very expensive certification compared to PMI, IIB, or IREB. But all of these certifications are globally recognized. Then comes your ISKI. ISKI stands for International Software Quality Institute. They only offer one certification, that is Certified Agile Business Analysis. Now I have already uploaded a book of Agile Extension to BABOK version 1. This exam is based on Agile Extension to BABOK version 1. So in fact, I have covered most of the concepts of certified agile business analysis in our agile business analysis session, wherein I covered the agile approach and traditional approach. Remember, I covered discovery framework and delivery framework, and all the 3 section like see as the whole, think as a customer. Those all are nothing but the syllabus of CABA. So this is again a cost effective. In India, it cost 8,500. In US, I don't know, you can convert it accordingly. Again, you can book a Pearson examination appointment, and you can apply for this particular business analysis session. So this body, ISKI, they do not have any internal alliance with IIBA or BCS or IREB. Only these 3 body have their internal alliance. Even PMI do not have any internal alliance with IIBA or anything. So depending on your expertise, you have to choose which certification you have to go in terms of business analysis. Any questions, anyone?
These are like lifetime certifications, so they have duration.
Okay, so if you consider IIBA certification, every 3 years you have to renew it. Same case goes for PMI, but BCS, the certification offered are lifetime. There is no requirement of renewal. And same thing for IREB and ISKI. These are all lifetime certification. Here there is a requirement to renew your certification after every 3 years. Now renew doesn't mean you have to reappear for the exam. You have to show the necessary experience. You have to again fill an application form and you have to show your experience that you are still eligible to hold that credibility.
Okay.
Now coming to other certifications. Now let's say you want to do some UML certification. So you can always go for Object Management Group. So Object Management Group offers you the UML certification. So if you see, they offer you business process modeling certification and UML certification. In UML certification, there are 3 levels in this particular certification. So currently the UML version is 2.5. All your exam would be based on UML 2.5. There is a foundation level, there is an intermediate level, and then there is an advanced level. So there are 3 levels of certification. So you can start from foundation level, you can head through intermediate level and go to advanced level. So these are 3 UML certification that is offered by OMG. Then there is certification on business process modeling. Now in business process modeling, again, they have this particular certification, where it is. Okay, they have only one particular, the first 2 examination of fundamental. Okay, so at this point of time, they only have fundamental and intermediate level. The advanced level is in progress and it should be appearing in a while now. So these are the 2 certification that you could do from a business process modeling standpoint, the fundamental and the intermediate level. Now again, there is no recertification requirement over here. You can purchase their study material from this particular website itself and do the necessary activities. But remember, this exam would be having both objective and scenario based question. So you have to be prepared for it. You would be given a UML diagram and you would be asked what is missing in this particular UML diagram, or you would be given a business process model and you would be asked what is missing or what all thing you can add to that particular business process model. So you have to um, uh, you know be prepared for it. Fundamental, it would be completely optional for both, sorry, objective for both UML and business process modeling, but starting from intermediate level you would be getting scenario based questions. Then comes your Scrum certification, your agile part. Now, if you go to Agile website, this is the most easiest certification that you can have, and they do not demand any such experience criteria at this point of time. Anyone can do this particular certification. So if you see, there are 3 core certification over here: the Certified Scrum Master, the Certified Product Owner, and the Certified Scrum Developer. So these are the 3 core certification that you could do. After you have completed CSM, you can go for ACSM, that is Advanced CSM. Same case goes for Product Owner. After you have completed the Product Owner, you can go for Advanced Product Owner. And after you have completed Certified Scrum Developer, you can go for Advanced Scrum Developer. And after you have achieved that particular 2 certification, then there is CSP SM and CSP PO. That is the third level. So there you don't have to apply for any particular exam or attend any particular workshop. Instead, what you need to show is the 60 PDUs that you need to accumulate in order to get that CSP PO or CSP SM designation, the third level. Now, how you can get those PDUs or SEUs, Scrum Education Unit? So after you have completed your CSM, you would be getting 14 SEUs. After you have completed advanced CSM, you would be getting 14 SEUs. So 14 plus 14, it's 28. Then there are different categories by which you can get the PDUs. For example, if you have watched any particular video on YouTube which is relevant to Scrum or Agile, so you can claim in that application form that I have I have gone through this particular video, and basis on that particular video watching activity, you can claim around 14 to 12 SEUs. Now, the other category is if you have read through any particular ebook on Agile or any book on Agile. So, per book, you can accumulate 2 points. Then, the other options that you could do is you can attend the local meetups. There is a website called as meetup.com. You can search for your area meetup, the Agile community meetup. Now, from there, you can register for that particular meetup. Depending on the number of hours, per hour you would be receiving 1 SEUs. So let's say it's a whole day training, then for the entire day you would be receiving 8 SEUs. So by accumulating these all SEUs, you have to accumulate it to 60 SEUs. Once you have completed 60 SEUs, you would be given the designation of CSPPO. So those are the 3 levels in Scrum certification. Then if you want to learn advanced Scrum certification, then you have certified agile leadership, cal 1 and cal 2. This is something recently launched, cal 1 and cal 2, and you have to once you have completed these all designation, you can head towards it. Now there is a renewal requirement over here. Every 2 years you have to renew this particular certification. For example, you hold a certified Scrum Master and you want to renew this particular certificate, then you have to pay $100 to Scrum Alliance and your certification would be renewed for next 2 years. Now the next question is, if you hold both this credibility, CSM and CSPO, like I hold, and if I want to renew both, I don't have to pay $200. I have to pay only $100. In that $100, whatever credibility I hold, every credibility would be renewed. So currently I am pursuing ACSPO because I am already done with CSP and CSM and CSPO, and I am heading towards CSPPO at this point of time. And if you have done any certification from your SAFE, then those PDUs are also considered towards your journey for CSPPO. So you can think of it. It's not that you should start doing this certification. This is just for the sake of information I'm sharing with you, that you can start doing in this particular area any certification if you feel like. Now,
Sunil, in this, do they also provide like workshop and training or something also,
yes,
or it's
yes.
just when you're prepared, you can just go and give the exam?
No, there is no prometric or this sort of exam. You have to mandatorily attend a workshop over here.
Oh, okay. And once you are done with the workshop, then is there an exam, or
No.
it's just
For Scrum Master, there
so
is an exam. For CSPPO, there is no exam.
okay. So basically, after you attended, after you have gone through all the workshops, then you'll receive a certification.
Yes. So you have to attend
Okay.
2 days training. For Scrum Master, there
Okay.
would be an exam of 25 questions, out of which you have to score around 18 or 16 something. And for the other exams like Product Owner and Advanced CSPO, you don't have to appear for an exam, but they would ask you to do some exercise. For example, write the user stories, and the instructor who would be instructing you, he would be validating your user stories. Or they would ask you create a storyboard, so you have to create storyboard. Or they would ask you to create a persona, so they would give you all the charts, papers, pen, and you have to create it in front of them. Obviously it would be a group exercise, but there is no such exam for CSPO.
And how long is the session?
It would be
Like
two
how many
complete
sessions are there?
days. Two complete
2
days.
complete days. But
Yes.
it'll be online,
No, it won't be
or
online.
you have to go
You have
okay,
to
go
attend
some
a workshop.
okay.
Online option is also there. If you want to do it online, I can give you a website. So this website offers online courses for all the CSM CSPO. The website name is CSP FastPass. So you have to subscribe from here also. I am personally doing this advanced CSPO online from this particular website. So I thought of recommending you. So this particular website offers you online courses. Now the condition here is you have to go through all their videos. After every videos, there would be around 10 to 12 lectures. In each lecture, there would be two videos, two exercise, one quizzes. So you have to complete all the exercise and quizzes and upload it into that particular section. Once you have completed all them, progress bar would be shown to you that how much percent course is complete. After that is done, you have to attend these trainers sessions. So your instruction, like Carlton Nelton and Jason Tanner, these are the two instructors. You have to attend two sessions from each instructor, 1 hour. Once you are done with that, your certification would be issued to you. So this is your online option. Rest offline option, there are many. You can search it out.
Okay, okay, great. And how much is the estimate cost of the fees for this in this website or the other one, that the previous one that you showed?
It actually
It's 100.
depends on your region. In India, they charge
Okay.
around 27 or 28K. These are their website rates. So probably the cost is always higher in the west side. So this is their costing. You can also visit this particular website like Knowledge Hut. It's a good website. I'm not sure if they are available in US. So this website also offers some, courses. Let me check. Yes, they are available in US. You can visit this website over there. It would show you the USD prices. So they offer workshops. They don't offer any online courses. It would be a 2 days program.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So if you, for that matter, if you consider there are multiple agile certification, these are the certification offered by Scrum Alliance. Then PMI also offers agile certification. SAFe also offers you some sort of enterprise agile certification. Then there is one more governing body, PSM. They also offers you. Then there is IC Agile. So if you could start exploring, you would get into it for what the things are. But I would recommend, being a business analyst, you go for CSPPO, because that is more aligned with your business analysis work.
That's a lot.
Yeah, some people are really amazed because I feel that I should keep myself upgrading every 3 months. So per year, I have that target of completing at least 3 to 4 certification, because the industry keeps on changing at a rapid pace, and there are insurance certification as well. You want to see what are insurance certifications?
Yeah, sure.
Eh,
So if you go to
But
this
apart from
particular,
this,
yeah, please go on.
yeah, no, but these are going to help you in work, right? But how do they recognize you with this? You put it in your resume, or how do you show it?
Okay, so see, there are, let me first finish this insurance domain certification, then I'll come to your question, how things work. So in insurance domain, you have multiple designation. Like for underwriter, you have chartered property casualty underwriter. Then for general insurance, you have AINS. Then claims, they have different certification. For risk management, commercial underwriting, depending on the areas, they have different certification. Now within this area, per area, they have around 4 to 8 papers. So you have to clear all those 4 to 8 papers. So for example, if you want to have this designation, associate in general insurance, then there are 3 exams that you need to complete. Those 3 exams would be your INS 21, 22, and 23. So this exam 21, 22, and 23. That is, you have to first understand the general insurance, then you have to understand the personal insurance and commercial line insurance. Once you have completed these 3 papers, you would be given the designate as AINS, Associate in General Insurance. So similarly, for your risk management, or for your claims, or for any XYZ area that you choose, or reinsurance, you would be having certain designated papers, 4 to 5 usually in count, and you have to clear all those papers and after that you would be getting that designation. Now these questions are not subjective, rather they are very much term centric. For example, if I say peril, what is a peril? If I say a particular risk, what is a particular risk? What is an exposure in insurance? So your questions would be based on the insurance glossary and terms associated with it. They would give you a scenario and they would tell you that identify which term relates to this particular scenario. Depending on that, you would be getting your question. Now, same thing for finance, you have CFA level 1, 2, 3, and so on. So domain specific certification are also there. Now, coming back to your question. Now, what happens ideally is, let's say you are starting your career. So it is always good to have certain certification, but ensure that depending on the number of years of experience, you are not becoming too much over. Considering my profile, whatever opportunities I am getting it with some reputed brand. Now there is a reason why I'm getting this opportunity with this reputed brand. And these certification which I do, that I said you, the 30 plus certification, that really helps me, get that added advantage of getting shortlisted and screened. Now, at this point of time, what's the challenge for me is I have the basic set of knowledge for the areas where I am not good at. Now I have to admit it, which area I am good at and which area I'm not good at. If you consider business analysis, I'm pro in that particular area. If you consider agile, I'm pro in that particular area. But when it comes to project management, I am not that pro in that particular area. I have the certification, the Prince 2 examination certification, which I have attended a workshop and I have gone through that particular exam, but I have the necessary standard knowledge that I can apply in project management, but I don't have the actual execution knowledge of a project manager, how a project manager executes it. That is where your experience and your credibility lacks. There is a difference between your experience and credibility. It's always good to have a credibility, but you should have the supporting experience to hold that credibility. Now, like I said, business analysis is a spin-off of project management. That doesn't mean that I haven't worked as a project manager. That means I don't know anything about project manager. Out of 8 hours sorry, 8 working hours in a particular day, 6 hours I sit with my project manager. So I know how things are working. But the only point is I haven't executed that particular work that he is doing. I have always contributed there, but I have not owned that particular responsibility. So when you are doing a particular certification in your respective career, now it's you people are too young, you are about to start your career. Now I would recommend you start with the basic set of knowledge. If you feel confident that you would be able to carry yourself with that particular designation, then only go for that particular certification. Because I have seen this monkeys in interviews. Why I'm saying monkeys, there is a reason to it. There was this interview when I was attending, and he started asking me questions that are relevant to my Microsoft certification at this point of time. However, it was a business analysis interview. So those questions doesn't make any sense. Why it doesn't make any sense? Because you are interviewing for a particular role and your question should be based on that particular role itself. And they started asking me what are this coding pattern or design pattern that your developers use. Then I said that I have left development way back, so I won't be able to answer those questions. Then they started, will you be able to review their code? I said, how can I review their code? Because I have left development way back. I cannot review their particular code. So these are some sort of indirect expectation that starts building up when you are progressing through your career. That doesn't mean that something you did in 2011, they would ask you question based on that 2011. It's fine that you hold the credibility, but it's a past thing. So you should be able to, distinguish your scope when you are attending a particular interview. Let's say out of curiosity, some certification, what people do, they do out of curiosity. Let's say I am interested in blockchain at this point of time. Now blockchain is a technical term and I may not work in the technical aspect. I would be always working in the functional aspect. Now in an interview, they would be asking me technical question. I'm not the right person to answer that. I know blockchain from a functional perspective. For that matter, cloud computing certification I did from a functional perspective. You cannot ask me how to configure this server, how to create this routing algorithm and all those stuff. So you need to maintain that balance when you are going for an interview, because the moment the interviewer feels that to be very honest, what the situation is, when people see my profile, a person with so many certification, if you see my profile, my first page is completely or half filled with the certification logo as in which are officially authorized to be used by the certificate recipients. So I have no choice. I have to use those logos. So that gives them a sense of, insecurity. If I hire this particular person, then he may, dominate me after being hired. But that is not my way of working. Rather, I work and believe in a collaborative model. No matter how much senior the person is or how much junior the person is, I always keep that attitude that I would learn something from them and I would teach something to my subordinate. Now, that is something, the perception I carry, but the interviewer of certain companies, they don't feel like that. So, that is the thing, whenever I apply for this startup, I feel, a bit disappointed when they start interviewing me. So, for that matter, these days I don't apply for startup. I only apply for reputed firms wherein my credibility are well received. Now, to summing up, coming to your career level, I would suggest, depending on your experience, depending on your knowledge, you choose your certification path. If someone asks you something, any sort of question from that particular certification or from that particular subject, you should be able to justify your answers or reason. If you don't justify, then it would be a huge risk for you. They may mimic you that you hold this particular certification and you don't know anything about it. So it's always advisable that whatever credibility you hold, you should know the concepts in and around it. If not about the past certification, at least for the latest certification that you have hold, you should be having sufficient amount of knowledge to justify your credibility.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now coming to some free certification, if you go for this website, Scrum Study. Now, this Scrum Study offers two free, there are multiple free certification that you could do from here. Like SFC is a certification, Scrum Fundamental Certified. That is a free certification you can do. What you need to do is you have to register in this particular website and you have to follow their LinkedIn group. They have their own LinkedIn group. Once you have followed their particular LinkedIn group, uh, you can register for this Scrum Fundamental Certified. 3 attempts are free. After third attempt, you have to pay some charges. So Scrum Fundamental Certified is a free certification, and they also have very beautiful videos around Scrum certification. So once you register and follow their LinkedIn channel or their LinkedIn group, you would have access to those 15 to 20 videos. You can go through those particular videos. They are really good. Then there is a website called as NG Study. If anyone is interested in doing some negotiation certification, you can also do this from NG Study, which is free of cost. Certified Negotiation Associate. Again, they have a huge set of videos, and this certification would help you understand how would you negotiate with your customer or the stakeholder. They have a very beautiful syllabus. Like Babok, they have NG book, and like our Babok, in the Scrum Fundamental Certified, you would have SMBOK. So, your SMBOK and NGBOK are freely downloadable. Once you register to these two particular websites, you should be able to get your copy and of course, the free resources and the free certification as well. Now, if you consider, there is one more website. If you are interested in Six Sigma and all those processes, they also have something called as Six Sigma. I think this is that particular website, War Sigma. Yeah, this is that particular website. Here also they offer some free certification. Six Sigma Yellow Belt. You can do this certification free of cost. Again, the process is same. You have to log in. Essentially, they are offered from the same vendor but with different website name. So you have a set of videos, a book to refer, and your examination. So 3 attempts are free. After that, you have to pay some amount to them. So these three certification you can do free of cost at your home. There is no need to book any sort of examination, and you can flaunt it in your resumes, the logos.
So you said you were interested in blockchain, right?
Mhm.
So how is blockchain like connected with the business analyst? Like, is it based on the domain? Like, it comes in finance domain, or like, how do you?
See, the applicability is depend on what areas you are exploring in blockchain. If you consider insurance, then blockchain has huge impact in fraud management, wherein the transactions are involved in insurance business. If you consider finance, then again it is something relevant to the finance domain. So that technology is not yet completely developed. It is still emerging because people are very skeptical about using blockchain technology. If you consider countries like India, RBI has completely banned the usage of Bitcoin. You cannot do any Bitcoin transaction. So there are certain technology limitation and regulatory limitations as well. So depending on that, you have to think of that particular area. So my company, if you consider at this point of time, they are more focused on RPAs and those chatbots and artificial intelligence bot. But blockchain, they are starting at this point of time. There are certain POCs that is being created at this point of time, basis on an hypothetical concept. If the thing goes well, if something is materialized, something is concrete, if some customer shows some interest, then we can go about implementing that particular technology. So every company, they invest a certain set of their budget in upcoming technologies so that they stay competitive in market. So in case you want to do or learn more about blockchain, of course, Udemy is a beautiful option wherein you can get courses at $10 or $15. There is a website called as Blockchain Council. They give you live training for blockchain and they do offer some sort of certification. So the training, they offer both offline videos and online online training. Once you register into this particular website, they would offer you what all trainings or certification they have, like certified blockchain expert, blockchain developer, hyperledger, smart contract developer, bitcoins, ethereum, solidity, cryptocurrency, and all those things. So these are essentially the terms or the bifurcation in blockchain domain. So you can let's say
So
if
we
you
will be going for all the expert ones.
I'm uh, it depends on your interest actually. The fees is very minimal if you see. It's 11,112 and they offer you, if you chat with them, they would offer you 20 to 25% discount. So it's 7 to 8,000 in Indian rupees. So depends on your interest actually, whether you want to go for blockchain expert as a whole or you want to explore a specific area within blockchain technology. It completely depends on you. Or if you have any doubt, you can directly counsel with them. They would help you decide which program is good for you.
Okay, so
And if you could afford, I would recommend you, the sad part is that Udemy do not offer a monthly subscription. But if you go to LinkedIn, they offer you lynda.com subscription on a yearly basis. There are multiple courses, and those courses are really good in nature. So I subscribe to LinkedIn Learning every year. So I have their account, and the courses are way good, I would say. If you could afford, then you can do some courses from there as well.
yeah, Linda is pretty good.
Yes. Even the business case session which I took, it was completely inspired from lynda.com videos. So it's not like that I wake up and take your session. I have to do some initial preparation as well from different sources.